I made a list of the 10 biggest, cruelest, most villainous Pixar villains. This is my opinion, and I want to see if you agree with me. I'll start from the 10th and go up to the 1st. Each one is more evil than the last. So get ready because another Cine Lovers is starting. Remember, this video is about Pixar villains. Disney villains will be in another video if you want. Write it in the comments. Let's start the list with the 10th place, Mr. Waternoose from Monsters Incorporated. This guy was like a father to Sully, a sweet old man with his actions. But at a certain point, we discover that the guy is the biggest scoundrel and is involved in Randall's plan. They want to kidnap children to put them in a tube that would suck their screams to get more energy. Because Mr. Waternoose would do anything to keep the company from going bankrupt. In other words, the guy was doing wrong things in his own company. In the end, he was arrested and almost made Monsters Incorporated close. In 9th place, we have her, Evelyn from The Incredibles 2. This woman used her wisdom for evil and made a huge mess in the lives of the heroes and even for the family's company. Evelyn is a very important character that practically no one remembers. She created glasses that controlled whoever wore them. She created a villain called the Screenslaver who was actually a common guy, used and controlled by Evelyn through the glasses. She sent this innocent guy to jail and didn't care about it at all. Evelyn's parents' house had been invaded, and her father called some heroes, but no one answered. He believed they would come to save him and his wife, but that didn't happen. Because of this, she became very angry at the heroes, because thanks to the unanswered call, thanks to the rescue that never came, her parents were killed. Evelyn's motivation became to put the glasses on as many heroes as possible, control them, and through her, make them do various bad things to the point where the public would become angry and afraid of the heroes again, making them illegal once more. And even when she was captured, the ship she had steered out of control was about to crash into the city, potentially destroying several houses and killing people, and Evelyn wasn't worried at all. In the end, she also ends up in jail. She caused a lot of trouble. In 8th place, Hopper from A Bug's Life. The guy is a grasshopper and scared everyone. Surely, at some point, you felt a bit scared of him. He wanted the ants to gather a lot of food for the grasshoppers to eat later. He is very good at making speeches and always threatens the ants and even the other grasshoppers to get what he wants. Hopper is very intelligent and knows the power the ants have, so he always wants to stay ahead. Randall from Monsters Incorporated is in our 7th place. Honestly, making this list was quite challenging because for me everyone deserved to be in the top 3. Randall is that guy who wanted to do things with his own hands. The guy wanted to kidnap children along with Mr. Waternoose to extract their energy, their screams, using the scream extractor machine to save the company from bankruptcy. He is very evil. Besides wanting to kidnap children, he scared everyone. I think almost everyone who watched Monsters Incorporated as a child was scared of Randall. In the end, he was isolated in the human world and got beaten with a broom. Comment below which of these villains you think is the worst of all. Your opinion is very important. Charles Muntz from Up takes the 6th position. The guy is almost 80 years old, enslaved several dogs, making them do everything he asked through those collars. He set Carl's house on fire, tried to kill him several times, and wanted to kidnap the bird Kevin. Later, Charles Muntz arrives with a shotgun, shoots at the balloons of the house, making it fall. This guy caused a lot of trouble for Carl, Russell, Doug, and Kevin. You can also see several helmets of other adventurers who came by to steal something from Charles and were killed by him. In the end, he falls from above, and we never hear from Charles Muntz again. Sid Phillips, the scariest kid in Pixar, from Toy Story, takes the 5th place on the list. This boy is not happy at all. Many defend Sid because he is a child and because he did his evil deeds to toys, not knowing they were alive. Okay, but Sid tortured the toys, tore off parts of one toy and put them on another, and even exploded them. Even though he didn't know the toys were alive while he did these things, he did everything as if it were real, which is the scariest part. Sid took pleasure in doing these evil things to the toys. He even took his sister's toys to do this as well. He got super excited. This is not normal. If Woody and the rest of the toys hadn't revealed themselves to him at the end of Toy Story 1, who knows what else this boy could have done. If you are new to the channel, subscribe so we can reach 1,000 subscribers faster. In 4th place, Lotso from Toy Story 3. This is the villain that everyone thinks is cute, sweet, and friendly, but in reality, he is the biggest fraud and very evil. This bear terrorizes terrorized Sunnyside, manipulated the toys, and reprogrammed Buzz to control him and use him as a soldier, making Buzz capture his own friends. Lotso would also imprison toys in the sandbox if they disobeyed any of his self-made laws. Even Mr. Potato Head was sent there and suffered a lot. He would also order torture for anyone who did something he didn't like, such as the telephone. Lotso ordered it to be beaten up. Not stopping there, his owner Daisy replaced him, and he told the clown and Big Baby that she had replaced them too, which was a lie. What he did was not nice at all. The bear manipulates everyone. Lotso also mistreated Big Baby at the end of the movie. He went to the dump, and when he was in danger and desperate, Lotso asked Woody and Buzz for help, who helped him, and then we thought, oh, Lotso is a good guy. He redeemed himself. And what happens? The bear goes and betrays the toys again, and his end wasn't bad. He ended up stuck on the front of a truck. Every like on this video shows how many people love Pixar movies. I want to see. In third place, Sir Miles Axelrod from Cars 2. Miles is the villain who, besides being a villain, is fake. And no one likes fake people. He created Alanol, a fuel with natural elements. He claimed that alternative energy is the future and even spoke badly about gasoline and oil. Then he created the World Grand Prix, a racing championship bringing together the best racers from around the world to use his Alanol. But he is a horrible car, without feelings. He had an oil platform where they produced gasoline. The platform that appears at the beginning of the movie is his. You can even see the initials MA, which are his name's initials, and he created Alanol so that everyone would see that Alanol is bad, and thus everyone would go back to using gasoline, where he would make a lot of money. He thought ahead that gasoline would run out one day, created another fuel for everyone to see that it's better to stick with gasoline and make more and more money. Besides all that, he was the boss of Professor Zundap and the Lemons. Sir Miles Axelrod is the biggest villain in Cars 2, and not stopping there, he also wanted to kill McQueen and all the other cars. They shot, burned the engines, and caused several accidents. Another detail, Sir Miles Axelrod ordered the murder of Rod Redline. They tortured the guy and then killed him, and the same happened to Leland Turbo. Thankfully, Mater exposed him. There's nothing good about this guy. In the end, he was arrested. In second place, Syndrome from The Incredibles. This is a villain whose story and motivation you can really understand. Syndrome was known in his childhood as Buddy Pine and Incrediboy. He wanted to work with Mr. Incredible, but since he was still a child, Mr. Incredible refused his help, which made Syndrome very angry. In other words, his dream was to become a superhero, and with everything that happened to him, Syndrome created several Omnidroids, those giant robots, to kill various superheroes and still become one himself. And he actually did kill several superheroes. At the end of the movie, Syndrome fights against the Omnidroid, and for a long time, he wins the fight because he himself was controlling the giant robot, pretending to the whole city that he was a good superhero. He even kidnaps Jack Jack, who is a baby, another child abductor. Syndrome is a murderer and kidnapper, and his end was one of the most brutal deaths in Pixar. He was sucked into the turbine of the ship, shredded there, and the ship exploded with him in it. In first place, the worst villain in Pixar, Ernesto de la Cruz from Coco. This guy is the worst of all. Ernesto was the greatest singer in the history of Mexico. Everyone loved him, and he achieved great success. But this only happened because he stole the songs of his best friend Hector. And before stealing from his best friend, he killed this best friend. He used Hector's songs and never revealed to anyone that the real author was Hector and not himself. After a while, a giant bell fell on Ernesto, killing him. In the world of the dead, he remained very famous until he was exposed, and Hector discovered through Miguel that Ernesto had poisoned him. Man, this guy has no heart. He even tried to kill Miguel, a child, by throwing him off. Besides all this, there's more. He's so evil that he wanted Hector never to be remembered by anyone in the living world. He tried to stop Miguel from taking Hector's photo to his daughter, who is Miguel's great-grandmother. By doing so, the great-grandmother, who is Hector's daughter, would forget Hector forever, causing him to disappear completely, even from the world of the dead. Too heavy. And Ernesto de la Cruz's end in the world of the dead was just like his death in the living world. A bell fell on him. Speaking of Pixar, there are several videos about the studio on this channel that I'm sure you'll really enjoy. Click on them. Thank you so much for making it this far. We'll see you in the next Cine Lovers.